This airstrike had to be called in after the Taliban attacked one cash for work site, injuring an ISAF soldier who was guarding the workers. They've warned others to stay away.
We're scared. There's no difference between you and me for the Taliban. They would slit our throats because we're working for the Americans.
The Taliban told my father he shouldn't work here.
As the foreman handed out the weekly wages, we saw some of the money being handed to men in a parked car. We're told at least half of it goes to the Taliban. One senior Afghan officer at the base said he now thinks the project is doing more harm than good. It's not the only outreach project they have. A makeshift clinic hands out medicines, and it's soon to be replaced with something more substantial.
3 months ago, the decision was made to leave a more solid legacy behind. These 4 buildings will house a school, a clinic, an agricultural training centre and a shura, a meeting room. The hope is that these bricks and mortar will stand firm against the Taliban in the fighting season and act as a reminder that the US forces provided them with something the Taliban didn't.
Word of the Cash for Work programme reached a neighbouring district. Elders turned up at the US outpost to ask the Americans to set one up locally. It's a good sign if the money goes to them and not to bolster the Taliban's funds. Sue Turton, Al Jazeera, Kandahar.
Well, let's go back to our top story, Libya now. Let's speak to Mustafa Abdul Jalil, who's from the Opposition National Council. I'm going to speak to him through a translator. Thank you very much indeed for speaking with us. First of all, can you confirm that negotiations are going on between the National Council and Gaddafi's people for his departure?
First of all, there was no direct negotiations or direct talks with Gaddafi. We are dealing based on our honesty, integrity and reputation for the interests of the nation. We have heard that some human rights activists in Tripoli and the state TV controlled by the regime, we heard that there is a call directed to the wise men in the country in order to reach a solution to put an end to the bloodshed, namely in the areas bombarded by Gaddafi by air and tanks like Zawiya, Misrata and Ras Lanouf. At that point, and based on our integrity and based on our love to our country, we have offered and proposed to those indirect people, we propose that a solution can be reached in under 3 key demands. First, stopping and ending all combat operations in the field. Second, the immediate departure of Muammar Gaddafi within 72 hours. Third, we may waive our right of legal and prosecution domestically.
I just want to get this very clear. Are you saying that you made the proposal to Gaddafi's people, or Gaddafi's people approached you? Which way round was it?
As I said, those people did not come with a clear proposal. They said that this is their suggestion, and in return, what are the guarantees and assurances on our part in return for ending the bloodshed?
So you had an envoy. We're told it was Azuz al-Tali. That envoy came to you from Tripoli with this offer. Is that right?
Mr. Jadallah Aziz al-Talhi is revered by all the Libyans. He was a former foreign minister and he is a personality respected by the Libyans. He appeared in a television station controlled by the regime, and he proposed to a committee of prudent wise men in Libya in order to reach a solution to put an end to the bloodshed.
Can the National Council offer Gaddafi immunity from prosecution if the International Criminal Court is going to be involved? How can you give Gaddafi the conditions that he wants?
As I said, we cannot or we do not have the authority to speak on behalf of others. I'm speaking, and we are speaking of the Libyans only. We can waive the right of prosecution domestically for the crimes of oppression, starvation, and massacres, namely Abu Slim, where more than 2,000 inmates were killed.
And have you had any response to your offer for Gaddafi to leave within 72 hours?
He announced through the TV stations controlled by him that he is no longer in power.
Gaddafi has announced that he is no longer in power. I don't understand. Can you just enlarge on that?
The state television said that Al-Qaddafi government that they have not proposed any solution to the revolting people. That's why it is clear that they are not responding. On our part, we responded to the announcement made by the state television, and we have a clear conviction that any official appearing on the state television cannot make such a statement without having the green light from Gaddafi himself.
Okay, so are negotiations continuing?
As I said, there is no direct negotiations in the first place. It was a proposal, and we, on the council and the wise men, accepted. And we, in return, we laid out our viewpoint, and we will have to wait and see the regime's response.
Okay, thank you very much indeed for explaining that to us. We do appreciate it. Mustafa AlJazeera from the Opposition National Council there. Okay, well, let's get some sport now. Here's Farah.
Thank you very much, Shirley. Well, let's get the latest from the Cricket World Cup. In New Zealand have set a challenging total for Group A leaders Pakistan and Palakkale, Sri Lanka. After starting their innings slowly, the Black Caps really got going thanks to Matt Taylor. On his birthday, the batsman smashed an unbeaten 131. The third 100 of the innings coming off at just 29 balls. Pakistan in reply are 23 for 3 off 6 overs. The sale of tickets for the Cricket World Cup is still causing issues in India. Hundreds of fans clashed with police in Nagpur. Now, these were the scenes earlier outside a ticket office. Fans have been queuing up since Monday night when they heard only a limited amount of tickets would be going on sale for India's showdown with South Africa on Saturday. Many fans went home disappointed. Similar scenes were witnessed 12 days ago in Bangalore. Organizers have been criticized for only releasing a limited amount of tickets to the public for high-profile matches. Meanwhile, there are mounting injury concerns for England. Batsman Kevin Pietersen has flown home to have surgery on his hernia problem. He's expected to be replaced by Owen Morgan. The England squad have arrived in Chittagong for their next match amid tight security. They face co-host Bangladesh on Friday. Ian Bell is expected to move up the order to open the batting in place of Pietersen. Meanwhile, Stuart Broad's participation is also in doubt for Friday's match as he's battling injury as well.
I've picked up a little side niggle. I'm not sure as to how serious it is at the moment. I've had a couple of scans. Results we're waiting.